right, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Double Take Sports Talk with the Watch Brothers. Welcome to our podcast. I'm Darrell Watts. Darren Watts on the other side. D Watts. What's happening?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to our podcast, NBA episode number 3. Darrell Watts II. What's happening?
Not too much, man. You know what it is. Another good day of podcasting.
You got that right. Second one of the week, last one of the week, 2 times out of the week is wonderful. This is what I call therapeutic.
You know, kind of like a stress reliever too. Just kind of just taking your mind off the things that are out of in your personal life. Just kind of just taking it out. So you're focusing on something more important that's more, sacrificial to you.
Yes, something you really want to do.
Definitely. That's a big plus.
Yes, it is. In Jesus' name.
Yes, right. Right. That is absolutely right. Mm-hmm. All right. So we got the weekend review. It's already a wrap. So it's going to be the last weekend review for the MLB portion of it. And then we're going to have Darren your analysis and previews from the Pacers. Mm-hmm. Then, of course, predictions. And then we go into the headlines, and then I follow up. So, Darren, ready?
Let's do it.
All right. So, we'll take a look at the weekend review, World Series. So, from last week's podcast, we stopped off at Game 2. That was, I believe, was like the 23rd or something like that. They had like 3 or 4 days off. So, that's when I was making the transition to Los Angeles. So, Wednesday, October 26th, the Los Angeles Dodgers beat the Boston Red Sox 3-2 in 18 innings. That's incredible. Winner of this, the winning pitcher of this one was Alex Wood, and then losing pitcher is Nathan Eovaldi. Thursday, October 27th, Red Sox beat the Dodgers 9-6. Winner of this one was Joe Kelly, and the losing pitcher of this was Dylan Floro. I could be wrong. Friday, October 28th, the Red Sox beat the Dodgers 5-1 to win the series 4-1, and has been crowned world champion. Winning pitcher of this one is David Price, and the losing pitcher of this one is Clayton Kershaw. Not a fan of the Boston Red Sox winning this one, and I'm very disappointed in the Dodgers at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know what to really say or do
that. I agree.
Red Sox.
Yeah.
Red Sox is just a better team.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently that is the weekend review for that. Do I have anything to that to the weekend review?
No, I'm done with baseball.
So we're going to go ahead and shift gears. We're going to move on to your analysis. So whenever you're getting ready, go ahead and do it.
All right, here we go. 3 games going back from last week. The last place we stopped at was the Indiana Pacers and the San Antonio Spurs. That was the last stop before continuing off. Now going to Cleveland, Ohio, where the Indiana Pacers faced off against the Cleveland Cavaliers at Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. I did the preview of this game, and now here is the analysis for this game and my game notes. Both teams committed 15 turnovers. Here's the situation. How did Cleveland lose this game shooting 90% from the free throw line? Well, let's start with the three-point shooting, 28%. Can't win shooting like that, 40%, 46% shooting. It's hard to win shooting poorly. Pacers shot 64% and 38% from the three-point line. Cleveland didn't step up on defense. 2 blocks, 9 steals. Pacers had the higher number in both categories with 13 steals and 3 blocks. Pacers starting 5 all scored in double figures. Domantas Sabonis was the only player off the bench who scored in double figures in this game. It is a start to be productive to win the games, but is it possible that the Pacers missed Tyreke Evans for this game? If I'm correct, he was suspended for breaking team rules, and he was just only out for this game. Can Cleveland rebound from this slump? Moving on. Well, let me make one note here. The Pacers bench scored, if I'm correct, yep. The Pacers started scored 89 points. The bench scored 30. The Cleveland Cavaliers starters scored 53, and their bench scored more than their starters with 54. Of course, not by much, but it's just a mere point. Mm-hmm. Both teams committed 15 turnovers. In the breakdown of that, the starters for the Cleveland Cavaliers committed 10, and the bench committed 5. And for the Pacers, same thing. Starters committed 10, and the bench committed 5. And the final score of this game was 107 to 119. Pacers had 28 assists, and the Cleveland Cavaliers scored 21. And just curiosity, the Pacers starters got 20 assists, and the bench have 8, while the Cavaliers starters only had 9 assists, and the bench had 12. Winning effort. Cleveland Cavaliers got to do better. But I think they end up doing better because they end up winning their next game. Going into the next game, the Portland Trailblazers and the Indiana Pacers down at Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. The Indiana Pacers honored Adam Vinatieri for his all-time NFL leaders in points, beating Morton Anderson that past Sunday afternoon. Game notes for the Portland Trailblazers and the Indiana Pacers. The Blazers were not missing too many shots as the Pacers got defeated on the boards. Blazers grabbed 50 rebounds. Pacers took 90 attempts, made 37 and 6 from the three-point range. That's where all the defensive rebounds came from for the Blazers. Pacers grabbed 35. Blazers plus 10 for turnovers. How do they win? Pacers didn't take advantage of the free throw line. Only 65% and shot 94%. I need to proofread. Just a good shooting night for the Blazers. I need to proofread. That's the second mistake I've seen on here since I've read. I need to proofread. And I'll be up early in the morning doing this. Just a good shooting night for the Blazers and not a very good night for the bench of the Pacers. Nobody scored in double figures from the bench. Pacers starters scored 78 points, while the bench only scored 15 points. The starters needed relief and did not get it. More productive for the bench players to get back on that winning side. Statistical notes on the behalf of the Blazers and the Pacers. Blazers starters scored 49 points, and their bench scored more than the starters with 54. Pacers bench scored 78 points, while the bench only scored 15. The final score of this game was 103 to 93. Both teams gave out 19 assists, but in different ways. The starters for the Blazers only gave out 6, while the bench gave out 13. Productive bench, that's how they won the game. Pacers gave out 17, while the bench only gave out 2, which is definitely not good enough if you want to win games. Portland, like I mentioned, committed 18 turnovers, while the Pacers only committed 8. Pacers starters only committed 2, bench committed 6. That's very poor bench production. Blazers starters committed 8, while the bench committed 10. For them to do that and still win this game, to me, is a very big issue. Okay. And lastly but not least, down at Madison Square Garden in New York, the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers. Now, here's my real struggle as I go through this. Here we go. Interesting way to continue this podcast. Two things that stood out for me off the bat. One, Kristaps Porzingis didn't play. Game would have been different had he played, and the Knicks' record would look a lot better too. Two, Victor Oladipo started in the one spot. He scored 24 points and got 1 assist. Darren Collison scored 8 points and had 6 assists. Change in the lineup may just mean matchup advantage. And with the way Victor Oladipo scored, looks to be just that, an advantage. Domantas Sabonis carrying the Pacers team off the bench, being a high scorer for the Pacers and behind Tim Hardaway Jr. Sabonis scored 30 points off the bench with 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 6 turnovers. That's what carried the Pacers to the win, shooting 12 for 12 from the court, 6 for 7 from the free throw line. Great way to bring energy to that game. Because of that, the Pacers bench outscored the Knicks 44-33. But interesting enough, the Knicks starters outscored the Pacers starters 68-63, but still lost this game. Continuing this going into the game with the Bulls, we should have an easy win Friday night.
Agreed again.
Yep.
Definitely.
And on the behalf of turnovers, the Knicks committed 17, the Pacers committed 15. The starters for the Knicks committed 13 turnovers, the bench committed 4. The starters for the Pacers committed 7, and then the bench committed 8 turnovers. The final score of this game was 101 to 107 Indiana. The Pacers dished out 24 assists, 12 apiece for both the starters and the bench, and for the Knicks, 13 assists for the starters and 5 assists for the bench. That is my analysis. That is the game notes that I racked up based off of statistics. Darrell, got anything to add to that?
I'll tell you what, I was kind of impressed with how, despite the fact that the Pacers lost against the Trailblazers, how they kept the rhythm, like before shooting. I was still impressed.
I think the Pacers could have beat the Blazers if they just would have had a better shooting night, and for the bench just really step up. They could have won.
Oh, yeah. Definitely agree.
They could have won.
I agree.
They could have won.
Yeah.
So now, okay. So now we're gonna head on in and go right on into our preview for the Pacers and the Chicago Bulls down in Chicago, Illinois. You see it?
Yep.
Good. Here we go. What a way to end Friday night. Tomorrow night, as the Indiana Pacers go up against the Chicago Bulls. Last played in the preseason matchup October 10th, 2018. The Bulls won that matchup 104-89. Leading scorers, assists, and rebounders in this game. Justin Holiday for the Chicago Bulls with 22 points. Bobby Portis with 6 rebounds in this game, and Chris Dunn with 7 assists. On the Pacers side, Thaddeus Young with 16 points, Thaddeus Young with 10 rebounds in this game, and Darren Collison with 5 assists in this game. Darrell, do you believe in this game or any other game futures going on? Do Darren Collison need to be in double figures in assists for the Pacers to be better?
Personally, if this was me, I would think at this point Darren Collison would have a double-double. Not in every game, but at least close to it, flirting with a double-double or a double-double in points and assists.
Well, let me run through real quick. Shoot, I'm missing the paper, and I have no idea what happened to it. Oh, yeah. I'm just going to run through really quick his statistic line just for points and assists. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, he scored 15 points 6 assists. And against the Portland Trailblazers, 17 points, 6 assists. And for the Knicks and the Pacers, 8 points, 6 assists. Even though that they lost to Portland and he scored 15 points,
Yeah,
I think
I'll
it's
take
impressive.
that. Yeah, I'll take that. That's definitely producing enough to actually get the rhythm going. But like you said, it's all about the bench. They needed that relief and they didn't get it.
And that's exactly what I was about to say about this team in the Chicago Bulls. In order for the Pacers to win this game, they're going to definitely need their bench to step up. You're coming off an East Coast game. Now you're coming down, going back out west. Well, in the Midwest to go up against Chicago. You got maybe not that very much of rest. So the bench is really going to have to step up in this game in order for them to win, even though Chicago's going to be at home. Pacers got to win this game through the bench.
Absolutely.
They got to win this game through the bench. That's one thing to look at. And the other thing they got to do in this game is to hit their free throws. Once again, run through this one more time because this annoyed me. I don't have it. It annoys me because I forgot that I don't put those type of statistics down. The one thing that annoyed me was seeing under 70% free throw shooting.
While they a better free throw team last year.
Yeah, a lot better free throw shooting team. Wow. This right here, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. They're shooting 67% up until this point. Seriously? What's that about? You're shooting 67% from the free throw line. You can't do anything with that. This is just ridiculous, too. That I do not have the marker I once upon a time had. That annoys the living life out of me. You can't shoot. Here, I'll do it again. You can't shoot that. Granted, in these two categories, okay, great. I'm going to be honest with you. Let's be real. Why is this at 51%? I'm just going to say personally, just from last night alone, Demonis Sabonis.
It would be understandable. It would be understandable if the Pacers were shooting. If in this game, in that game, last game against the Bulls, the Pacers shot 51%. It's a bit different if the free throw percentage was up. Mm-hmm. If they would have shot at least 92% from the free throw line, I wouldn't be complaining about that 51% because that shows me they would be attacking the basket.
Absolutely.
And playing physical.
Yeah. Yeah. So the one thing they're going to want to do is make sure that their bench wins the game for them coming off the bench and for them to hit their free throws. And that's on both sides of the team, the bench and the starters. So this game will be airing 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be in Chicago in the United Center. Catch that game on FS Indiana, and for Chicago, NBC SCH. You can catch them on the radio, 1070 The Fan and 107.5 for Indiana, and WSCR AM 670 for Chicago. There you have it. Preview, not a whole lot to share since it's tomorrow night. More will be updated, of course, as it dwindles down into game time. But that's all I have for my preview and the analysis that I just went through. So, with that being said, Darrell, let's go ahead and have the predictions for this game. Darrell, who do you have for the Chicago Bulls, Indiana Pacers?
Like I said, it should be an easy win. Sticking with it. Going with the Pacers.
Absolutely. Heard my vote. Definitely. Indiana Pacers in this game. I am still working on trying to get records for this game, but the issue is trying to find a good format for it. So it is not working out in my favor. It's not. I may have to do a lot of work behind it, but we're not predicting a whole lot of games either. So
right. Different.
That's something else I would be trying to figure out on that behalf. But other than that, that is for the predictions for the Indiana Pacers Chicago Bulls game. Now let's head on over and let's hear the headlines for the NBA, NFL, and the MLB. Darrell, when you're getting ready, the floor is yours.
Okay, so here we go. Headlines, NBA, NFL, and MLB. For the NBA perspective, more teams show off City Edition uniforms. Not bad looking. Dwight Howard to make Wizards debut on Friday.
What happened? I'm sorry, go ahead. I told you, it's a bad habit.
Cleveland to host NBA All-Star in 2022. And the report goes, Cavs J.R. Smith hoping for a trade. D-Rose, Derrick Rose scores 50 in win versus Jazz. Great accomplishment there. Bucks Giannis Antetokounmpo is cleared to play Thursday versus the Boston Celtics tonight. On to the NFL. Nick Mullins to make his first start on Thursday Night Football against the San Francisco 49ers. I'm sorry, the Oakland Raiders. Woo! Okay. Speaking of the 49ers, they cut quarterback Tom Savage. And Jameis Winston. Yeah, I've seen this on your newsletter. Bitching is humbling, minor setback. Scratch. John Gruden. Players are dying to play for the Raiders. Scratch. Redskins defense scared after adding Clinton Dix. Seriously. To the MLB, Hall of Fame slugger Willie McCoy passed away at the age of 80. He had some health issues very recently. They probably could have been ongoing, not 100% sure. But I pray the thoughts are with his family at this difficult time. Tracking Bryce Harper's free agent moves, the biggest free agent eye watching thus far. And at 38 years old, is anybody interested in designated hitter Delphin Cruz? And trade rumor, also seen this on your newsletter here. Cards could target Josh Donaldson at a discount. That's all I have for my headlines for the NBA, NFL, MLB aspect. Darren, I know you got something you want to add to this, so go right ahead.
You seen my thoughts on that John Gruden.
Oh, yes, I did.
Spare me. Spare me. I'm not thinking about John Gruden. That's just to make himself look good. But I got news for you, buddy. You don't look good. You look horrible.
Yeah. 1-6. They get talking about players like that. What you waiting on? You got salary cap space. What you waiting on, bro?
Yeah, you got money. What you waiting on?
Let's make it work. Yeah, let's make it work.
So what you want is to get players that don't want much, just to keep your pockets full.
Yeah.
You want all the water. You want all the water, but ain't sharing none with the team. Nah, player. I ain't thinking about you dying to play. Literally dying playing for the Raiders. Literally. Yeah.
Literally.
That's what you mean. Not wanting to play for you, but dying because you're taking all the water in the Gatorade. Stop it. You ain't playing.
Woo! Woo!
There. Now I got that out. I feel much better.
I bet you do.
I couldn't put all that in the newsletter, but let's just say I got a chance to say it, and damn it, I finally got it out. You suck.
Yeah, you let it rip, man. You let it rip.
But I'm going to go ahead and drop that because I don't care about that. I said what I had to say. I just need to know what happened with Dwight Howard. Why is he just not making his Wizards debut?
Back soreness.
They just signed this big dude to the Wizards and you already had back soreness. No, man.
I guess all time people go through this. I'm just throwing the possibilities out there. So
I don't know.
I don't know either, Darren. I'm just just as confused as you. But
Yeah,
if
yeah,
if he's if backstory is killing him, I guess it's
I
I
guess.
guess it's a big thing. So it's something, and I'm surprised he's actually making his debut up to
Yeah.
this point.
Hmm.
It might be a more of a benefit because John Wall ain't doing nothing.
No.
He's just playing trash basketball anyway. So and then
After
Darren
his
Hill ain't doing much of
remember,
nothing.
remember after his statement, I'm grown. Yeah, you grown, all right. You
You grown,
grown.
bro.
Yeah,
You
you
grown.
grown, all right. Let
Mm-hmm.
you think about that one again.
He probably ain't thinking nothing about it right now. He'll
Yeah.
probably he'll
Well, of
probably
course he's
snap
not thinking
out
nothing
of
about
it.
it. Of course he ain't thinking nothing about it.
Of course. All right. That's all I got for the headlines. Something you want to add to that?
Nope.
Okay. So heading into our final thoughts. Good. You got anything for us?
Just real quick.
Hmm?
Best enforcer. Who you got? Ron Artest, Dennis Rodman, Charles Barkley, Ben Wallace, Draymond Green, or Anthony Mason?
Charles Barkley.
Wow. Not the worm?
I thought about the worm, but he got some crazy antics behind that.
Yes! That was the best answer I heard! Yes!
Yeah, he got some crazy antics behind that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I had to
yeah,
I had to kind of like shoot for Barkley because he's more intact when it comes to him being an enforcer and speaking his mind. So
yeah,
I have to go with Barkley.
yeah.
I have
I
to go with Barkley.
I had a tie between Anthony Mason and Charles Barkley, and I ended up going with Barkley too.
Anthony Mason,
Hmm.
really?
Hmm.
I didn't think you thinking nothing about Anthony Mason here.
Anthony Mason, you think about the rivalry with the Pacers and the Knicks in the 90s and how physical the Davis boys played against Charles Oakley and Anthony Mason.
Right,
How all four of them were so competitive. That's almost what made the game, besides Spike Lee running his mouth.
true, true,
That's what
absolutely
made
true.
that's what made the game. That's one of the reasons why I've always watched them. That's why I always loved watching them. Dale Davis, Antonio Davis, Charles Oakley, Anthony Mason, Patrick Ewing, Rick Smits, Mark Jackson, Derek Harper. Or back then, no, yeah, Derek Harper, Mark Jackson, Reggie Miller, John Starks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I
And
agree.
even before then, that really don't matter now, that I really didn't care about in the early 90s was Vern Fleming and Doc Rivers.
Right,
Was it Vern
right.
Fleming or was it Haywood Work?
It was Vern Fleming. I think Woody had started though. Then it was Vern Fleming in the back. I can't remember which one. I think it was really Woody,
Haywood
and
Workman.
then yeah, then it was
Go
Vern
when Mark
Fleming.
Jackson came, Mark Jackson was booted to the bench. I'm sorry,
Woody,
Haywood Workman. He was booted to the
it
bench.
was booted,
Yeah,
straight up booted.
booted literally.
It was
That's
straight up
all I got
booted.
for final thoughts for me.
I got one thing I want to note real quick. I just happened to see this. You might have seen it already too, but Reggie Wayne is being inducted into the Ring of Honor.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. Um, it's going to be during the November 18th game. I'm not 100% sure who that's going to be. It's going to be in the November 18th game. He is going to be inducted into the Ring of Honor.
I can find out what game that'll be. Oops,
Looking right now.
me too. Let's just see who beat who first. I don't even know what November 18th week is. Might be the Titans.
I think it's week 12.
If it's week 12, then it's not
Oh,
the
no,
Titans.
you might be right. It's week 11.
Because if it was week 12, it'd be Colts and Dolphins.
It is.
No, it might be.
No, you're
It,
right. It's the Titans.
oh, it's the Titans.
It's going to be against the, yep, the Tennessee Titans. Like who's going to be? Tennessee Titans. November 18th, Colts and Titans. That's when he is going to be inducted to the Ring of Honor.
Match
So
their
locally,
back-to-back home games.
mm-hmm. So locally, if anybody's trying to try to get to that game. I'm pretty sure tickets are still available. They ain't selling out.
Well, I mean, with the way that the Colts been playing, they might.
Ain't selling out. I'm sorry. I'll give it. I'll give it until when Andrew Luck becomes a real Peyton Manning.
Oh, yeah. But I think tickets might just be sold out just for that alone.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
it.
So yeah, bear that in mind. Locally, Reggie Wayne, another cat into the Ring of Honor. We already got pretty much the important ones Saturday. Wayne now, Peyton Manning,
Marvin
Harrison, Edric James.
There's still one missing. Robert Mathis. He ain't made it up there yet.
Yep, he getting there. I give it until next year.
I would give it until he probably retires with the team.
Who?
Robert Mathis. They're not going to induct him while he's still on the team.
He's what? Just a linebackers coach?
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, they probably won't. No, they probably won't do that.
They might as well go on and do it. He already been what? Charged with drunken driving last year, I think it was.
Oh yeah. Oh,
why don't you go ahead and do it now? Add some exposure. Add some exposure to it or something.
mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So that's all I have. So if there's nothing else there, we go ahead and end this podcast, wrap it up, and get on out of here.
Let's do that.
All right, that is another edition of Double Take Sports Talk. If you like what you see, just give this video a thumbs up. How you feel about today's show? You just comment in the comment section below as usual. Of course, for social media sites on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you have any questions, particularly, and thoughts, doesn't matter which, if you like, just go ahead and send away. If you like them, we'll share them on the air too. So be prepared for it. We're ready. We're on iTunes. Leave us a rating, or leave us a review, or do both. And there'll be ways to help us and improve on our show. YouTube, just subscribe to our channel. We look forward to seeing y'all on the podcast or hearing us on also on iTunes, the podcast. So I'm Darrell. Darren's on the opposite side.
Yep.
All right, catch you with another episode of Double Take Sports Talk. Until then,
ciao. Damn, I broke over here.
Double Take Sports Talk here with me, Darrell Watts. Now, there's an understatement that always goes, that has always been true from day one when sports decided to come out, is that it can be very unpredictable. And of course, that's always been the statement, that's always been so true. And depending on how you look at it, it can be very unpredictable. But with Double Take Sports Talk, we just throw some entertainment in there. Even if we don't get predictions right or theories don't come out right, we always just throw a little entertainment into the mix. So why not just have a little fun with it? That's how predicting can be so fun if you make an entertainment out of it. But other than that, of course, I'm all for it. But anyway, we're on social media around the globe here. We're on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can hit us up on our fan page at the Watch Brothers. You can hit us up on Twitter at DTST2414. And, of course, you can hit us up on Instagram, Double Take Sports Talk. So, YouTube, subscribe. You can share. You can do all the good stuff. Do anything that you would like. We're just trying to grow a podcast here, folks. We're also on the iTunes. You can download our episodes there. We're on the video, of course, and we're on the audio portion too. So either way that you can enjoy this podcast, you can do it audio, we do it on video. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the podcast. And until then, ciao.